Welcome to today's session of Yoga for Strength and Vitality. I hope you're well, I hope you're healthy, and I hope you're happy, eager to use the next 60 minutes to practice yoga. We're going to start today with a breathing practice. The purification or the cleansing breath is a form of an alternate nostril breathing. And we're not going to use a certain count. We inhale and exhale as it is comfortable for us. So begin in a seated position, ideally cross-legged or however you can comfortably sit with a straight back, using the pinky of the right hand, closing the right nostril, deeply inhale through the left. Then switching over with the same pinky, closing left, exhaling right. Inhaling right. And switching over again, exhaling left. And we'll move back and forth for about 2 or 3 minutes. If you can, close your eyes if it's comfortable. Make your inhalations and exhalations long and slow, but you need to be comfortable without straining. Cooler air flowing into your nostrils, warmer air coming out. Finishing up the round that you're on with an exhalation through the left when you get there. Your hands rest on your knees, close your eyes. And perhaps you notice that just doing 2 or 3 minutes of a pranayama, a breathing practice, your state of mind has changed. Breathing practice are incredibly powerful tools that we can do whenever we feel anxious, whenever we feel scared or a little stressed out. If you can get away to a corner where nobody sees you and do a breathing practice just for a few minutes, it will greatly help. Let's begin movement. Circle the face a few times in each direction. Make it bigger, head and neck rotations. And the opposite direction. And then stretching the left ear to the shoulder, the chin is slightly up. Just let the head hang sideways. And right ear to the shoulder. Chin to the chest, letting the head hang forward. And lifting your head, looking up to the ceiling, stretching the chin up. And one more time, rotating head and neck, 3 times each direction. And then rotating the shoulders with a little bit of tension, forward, up, and back 3 times. And back, up, and forward. And bring the hands on the shoulders, lifting the elbows up. So upper arms are parallel to the floor, rotating the elbows, rotating the arms, forward, up, and back. And then back, up, and forward. And let's rotate the torso. Close your eyes and move the way your body wants to move. Making circles with your torso. Call them the Sufi circles. And the opposite direction. And let's get ready to stand up for our standing poses. Beginning with Tadasana, the mountain pose. Feet about hip width apart, lifting the toes up, fanning the toes out. And as you place them down, feel your weight is evenly placed in all 4 corners of your feet. Cupping the belly at the lower back. You want to lift up the front, pushing on the lower back so that the tailbone doesn't stick out. And arms up, palms up. Bring the arms back behind you, maybe an inch, maybe even 2. Notice your shoulder blades are moving closer to the spine. And then slowly bring the arms down to the side. When the pinkies touch, turn the palms in. Last but not least, 2 fingers at the chin, pushing the chin back. Lengthening your spine with your head and neck, ears above the shoulders. Close your eyes, make a mental note of your pose, Tadasana, the mountain pose. This is how we want to walk through life, with a straight spine and squared shoulders. You also can stand against a wall. So if I stand back against my wall here and bring the arms up, kind of like a cactus, and bring the elbows back and the shoulders back, and lower the arms and keep your shoulder blades against the wall. Don't know if you have a wall right there where you are, but this is another good way to straighten the upper back. When you walk away from the wall, you might notice that you're standing different than you're normally, and your upper back is straight, the shoulders are square. That's what we want to aim for. Another thing is you can make sure that the arms are hanging by the outer seams of your pants. If they're forward, we're round and we're slouching. So rotating the shoulders back, that the arms are by the outer seams of the pants. So enough with that. Let's bring the hands to the waist and separating the feet nice and wide, insteps parallel to each other, and rotating the torso again. Now we're stretching the hamstrings, the back of the knees. 3 times each direction, and switching. And let's do center unicorn, clasping the hands behind you with the inhalation arching back. You can also bring the palms together with your hands clasped. With the exhalation, bending straight forward, lifting your arms behind you. Take a few deep inhalations and exhalations. Keeping your head down, lower the arms at your back, sliding your hands down, and pause right under your knees on your shins with your hands for halfway lift. Straighten your arms, looking down. So your spine is straight, head and neck in line with your spine. As if someone has an invisible thread from the crown of your head pulling forward. Take an inhalation here with your exhalation sliding down as far as you comfortably can go. Let's keep the left hand on your leg. Maybe you're down by your foot, wherever you are, keep your left hand. And bring your right arm up for triangle pose, looking up past your outstretched hand. And slowly lower your right hand to your right leg, keeping the head in the center and lifting your left arm up, looking up. And lower your left hand in the center in between your feet, about a foot forward. Right arm up for a variation. Both arms are straight, looking up again. And lower your right, replace it with the left and lifting your left arm up, looking up. And slowly untwisting, bring the hands to the waist with your inhalation, rising up. Gentle arch back, stepping your feet together. Arms to the side, back to Tadasana. Close your eyes and pause, breathing deeply. And let's get ready for balance poses with doing a warm up, placing one foot exactly in front of the other. You can have your hands out in your peripheral vision. That helps with balance. One foot is exactly in front of the other. Heel is touching the toes. And looking at a focal point, that's most important in our balance poses, is a focus. And let's switch sides. So opposite foot forward. And releasing. Feet side by side. Take a deep breath or two. And let's begin with tree pose. Weight onto the left leg, bringing your right foot up, either inside your lower leg, inside your upper leg, or on top of your thigh, whatever you prefer to do. If balance is a challenge, keeping your hands out in your peripheral vision, keep your focus. If you can, bring the palms to the chest. I am calm, I am poised, is the affirmation for the tree pose. And slowly lower your right. Pausing for a moment, take a deep breath or two. And then bring your left foot up, wherever you comfortably can. Palms to the chest or hands out in your peripheral vision. Slowly releasing. Pausing with eyes closed, breathing deeply. For flying bird pose, standing at the center of your mat, weight onto your left foot. And as you lift your right leg behind you, bending forward, open the arms to the side. focal point is on the floor or on your mat, right underneath you. And slowly releasing by standing up. Pausing, breathing deeply. Preparing to do the other side. Weight onto the right foot. As you lift your left leg behind you, opening the arms to the side, bending forward. Now there are different arm variations for the flying bird. And then the arms out to the side, from the shoulders, or in front of you, or pointing back alongside your outstretched lifted leg. And slowly releasing. Palms to the chest. Let's take a deep breath or two. And we'll do a couple rounds of salutation to the sun from the front of the mat. Feet are about hip width apart. With the inhalation, reaching out and arching back. With the exhalation, swan diving forward, keeping your back straight as you bend forward. With the next inhalation, hands on the shins, under the knees, halfway lift, look down, pulling the shoulders back. With the exhalation, coming all the way down. With the inhalation, moving up again. Palms, arms up, arching back. And exhaling forward. Swan diving forward. Fingers next to your feet. Left foot back, lunging, looking up. Right foot back for high plank pose. Take an inhalation in the high plank pose. Then with the exhalation, knees, chest, forehead down. Sweeping forward and up into cobra pose. Exhaling to downward dog, curling the toes, lifting back up to down dog. Inhaling left foot forward, big lunge in between your hands, looking up. Right foot forward, hips are up. Inhaling, reaching out and arching back. And exhaling forward for the other side, swan diving down again. Inhale, hands under the knees on the shins, halfway lift, looking down. Exhaling down. Inhaling all the way up, arching back. Exhaling forward again. Inhaling right foot back, lunging, looking up. Exhaling left foot back, high plank pose. Take an inhalation here. With the exhalation, touching down. Knees, chest, forehead. Inhaling up into cobra. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhaling right foot forward, big lunge, looking up. Exhaling left foot forward, hips are up, head is down. Inhale, reaching out, arching back. And palms to the chest. Let's do one more round. Inhaling, reaching out, arching back. Exhaling, swan diving down. Inhaling, halfway lift, looking down. Exhaling down. Inhaling up, arching back. And exhaling forward and down. Inhale, left leg back, lunging, looking up. Exhaling, right foot back, high plank. Take an inhalation in high plank pose with the exhalation touching down. Inhaling up into cobra. Exhaling to down dog. Inhaling left foot back, forward, lunging, looking up. Exhaling right foot forward, hips are up, head is down. Inhaling, reaching out and arching back. And exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, halfway lift, hands under the knees, looking down. Exhaling down. Inhaling up, arching back. And exhaling forward. Inhaling right foot back, lunging, looking up. Exhaling left foot back, high plank. Take an inhalation in the high plank. With the exhalation, knees, chest, forehead down. Inhaling up into cobra pose. Exhaling to down dog. Inhaling right foot forward, lunging, looking up. Exhaling left foot forward, hips are up. Inhaling, reaching out, arms up and arching back. And exhaling, palms to the chest. Let's double inhale, double exhale. And perhaps again. The salutation to the sun consists of about 12 different poses, backward bends, forward bends, lunges. And if you sometimes don't have time for a full hour of yoga postures or a full yoga class, maybe you can do a sun salutation before you meditate or before you start your day. It definitely warms you up. Take another couple of deep breaths. And stepping to the front of the mat, we'll do some warriors. Hands to the waist. The inhalation, bringing your right foot back for warrior one. So your left knee is bent, having the knee above the heel or above the ankle or behind, not in front. We don't want to overextend that knee. The hips are square to the front, so pulling your right hip forward a little bit. And with an inhalation, bring the arms up by the ears. Let's take this into warrior two by bringing your right arm back, your left arm forward. That left knee doesn't move, that stays in the same lunge. Just swivel the back heel down for warrior two. Looking past your outstretched left fingertips. And into a lunge, having the left elbow resting on your knee. Opposite arm comes close to the ear. Let's reach around the back with your upper arm for the opposite hip or thigh. Moving your shoulder back more, looking up to the ceiling. And releasing your hands down to your left foot. Swivel the back heel up and setting your right knee down. Move into a backward bend with the inhalation, lifting the arms up, bringing your palms together or clasping your hands, shifting the focal point to the ceiling and arching back. And to release, bring the palms to the chest. Let's bring the hands down to your left foot again. Left foot back. Sitting on your knees, sitting back on your heels for extended child's pose. Forearms, forehead on the mat, relaxing into your child's pose. And come up onto hands and knees, curling the toes under into downward facing dog. Make your adjustments. Maybe your feet have to move out a little further or come in a little closer. Hands are about shoulder width apart, fingers are spread. That's important to distribute the weight on your hand, on your whole hand. Chest towards the knees. Take 2 or 3 more deep inhalations and exhalations, grounding yourself in the downward dog pose. Feel the hips are at their highest point. Begin to slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Have a soft bend in your knees as you place your palms together, rising up bone by bone until you're straight. Palms at the chest, breathing deeply. And let's do all warriors on the other side, stepping to the front of your mat again. Hands at the waist. Now stepping back with the left leg for warrior one. Back heel can be swiveled down if you prefer. I prefer to have my back heel up for warrior one. Bending your right knee to a comfortable lunge, squaring the hips to the front with the inhalation, arms up by the ears. And preparing to move into warrior two. First, swivel the back heel down, then bring your left arm back, your right arm forward. That lunge doesn't change. Looking past your outstretched right fingertips. For a lunge, right elbow on the knee or on the thigh, opposite arm up, close to the ear. And reaching around the back, reaching for the opposite hip or thigh, moving your shoulder back, focal point up at the ceiling, looking up. And then bring your hands down to your right foot. Swivel the back heel up before you put your left knee down. Top of the foot down. Moving to a backward bend with the inhalation. Bring the arms out and up. Arching back, clasping your hands or palms together. Focal point at the ceiling. I am free is the affirmation for the backward bend. And releasing your arms, placing hands down onto the mat. Bring your right foot back onto the knees into extended child's pose, sitting on your heels, forearms and forehead on the mat. And lifting the hips up. Let's set up for cat-cow pose, having your wrists under your shoulders, the fingers are still spread, knees under the hips. With the exhalation, rounding your back like an angry cat. With the inhalation, moving your back down. Moving the hips out and looking up, pulling the shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, sagging down, looking up. And 3 more times with your breath. And then keeping your spine straight in a neutral position. Let's curl the toes under and we lift the knees only about 1 inch off the floor, engaging the abdominals. So just curling the toes under, lifting the knees just minimally, pulling the shoulders back, and engaging the tummy, navel to the spine. With the next exhalation, allowing the knees to rest down, tops of the feet on the mat. Bring your feet together, right big toe over left big toe, and step your knees apart. So separate your knees as wide as the mat is or even wider, and pushing yourself back into frog pose. Sitting on your heels, chest, forearms, forehead resting on the mat. And coming up onto hands and knees, bringing your knees together, curling the toes under, and lifting up into downward facing dog 1 more time. Make your adjustments, spread your fingers, chest towards the knees, holding a downward dog. And lifting your right leg. 3-legged dog pose, bending that knee, that upper knee, and open the hip to the side, keeping your supporting limbs straight and strong. And to release, slowly bring that right knee forward in between your wrists. For pigeon pose, sliding your left leg back, coming up onto your fingertips, sliding the hands back, kind of in line with your knee or behind, arching back, focal points at the ceiling. And coming onto the flat hands again, sliding your right knee back, curling the toes back up to a downward dog, and lifting your left leg up. 3-legged dog pose, bending that upper knee, open the hip to the side. Slowly bring that left knee forward, in between your wrists. Make your adjustments for pigeon pose, sliding your right leg back, straight back. Bring your hands, your arms back onto the fingertips if you need to, arching back, looking up. Releasing, coming onto the flat hands. Bring your knee back, pushing yourself back into child's pose. Bring the arms back, hands by your feet, forehead resting on the mat. Let's do the long hair pose. So bringing your forehead away from your knees as far as you comfortably can, holding onto your feet or ankles. And as you roll on top of your head, coming onto your knees, guiding the lower legs close into the body. This pose is a great stimulation for the crown chakra, the top of the head. Similar benefits as if doing a headstand, but it's much easier, much safer to do. And slowly lower your lower legs. Bring your forehead close to the knees, resting in the child's pose. And let's turn over onto our backs. You can fold your knees to the chest, hug your knees, maybe roll from side to side ever so gently. And we'll do some simple inversions. Bringing the arms really close to your side. I like to tuck my arms under my side, so the closer your elbows are together behind your back when you do inversions, the easier it is to hold your poses. Bring the knees into the chest, lifting your lower legs. And then with some momentum, bring your legs over your head, lifting your hips with your hands into a simple inversion. And that's maybe as far as you want to go today. Yogis believe in inverting themselves once a day to counteract all the forces of gravity, bringing fresh blood and oxygen into the head and face. If it's a challenge for you to be in an inverted position like this, maybe move close to a wall with your sit bones really close to a wall and walk your feet up that wall. That can help getting used to being inverted. If you like to do a shoulder stand, you can walk your hands further up your back until your body's in a straight line from your shoulders up. Let's do a parallel plow today, where you lower your legs parallel to the floor. And if you can, outstretch your arms behind you, palms and forearms flat on the mat. To come out, bend your knees gently, slowly roll down bone by bone. You can hug your knees to the chest one more time, or roll from side to side, massaging your back. Or you can also cup your knees with your palms, circling your knees 2 or 3 times in each direction. And then setting the feet down, keeping the knees bent, having your knees hip width apart. We'll move into bridge pose. So lifting the hips up, reaching down, clasping your hands underneath you. And lifting one shoulder at a time, tugging the shoulder blades closer to the spine, and squeezing the hips up high. For strength variation, lifting your left leg up, leading with the heel, and then lower it to a 45-degree angle. So your straight knee is next to your bent knee. Lower your left foot and raise your right. Lower to a 45-degree angle. And slowly lower your right foot as well. Lower the hips down. Place the soles of the feet together. Keep your knees bent and open the knees to the outside. Allow the knees to just fall out. Stretching the inner thigh and the groin area. Right hand resting on your navel, left hand on the heart. Pausing for a moment, breathing deeply. Feel with each inhalation and exhalation how the breath is rolling through your body. And then bringing your knees together again, hugging your knees to the chest, wrapping the arms around your knees, and rolling back and forth on your spine 2 or 3 times until you come up into a seated position. Let's have the legs in front of us for posterior stretch, or let's do Dandasana first. It's always good for alignment. Having the hands next to your hips. Fingers are spread every time we put weight onto our hands and wrists. We want to have big hands, fingers are spread. Feet are flexed so the toes are up, that engages the leg muscles. Placing some weight onto the hands as if lifting the sit bones off the mat. Dandasana, the stick pose. It looks like we're not doing a whole lot, but the whole body is actually working. And relaxing. Keeping your right leg out, bring the left leg in for head to the knee pose, facing your outstretched leg. Hands on the thigh with the inhalation, lifting your spine. With the exhalation, bending forward. Hands towards your foot, both hands in equal distance to your foot. Now you might be below your knee. You might be further down your shin, on your ankle, or at your foot. Take a deep inhalation again, and with your exhalation, folding forward. Try to align the center of the chest with the inside of the knee. And slowly, with the next inhalation, releasing the pose, sliding back up, with hands on your thigh, pausing for a moment, eyes closed. And switching legs. Right leg in and left leg out. Having the outstretched foot flexed, pointed up, hands on your thigh. Inhale, lifting your spine. And with the exhalation, sliding forward to your point of comfort. And slowly inhaling, releasing the pose, pausing for a moment. And bringing your knees up, we'll do a balanced V pose. So lifting the legs, finding balance on your tailbone area, holding on to either your lower legs. If you have very long legs, you want to hold on to your lower legs. If not, hold on to your ankles, your feet, or two fingers around the big toe, cap it with a thumb. And lifting the legs about parallel to the floor, pulling your shoulders back. Shift your focus to the ceiling, pick a focal point, and straighten your legs, pulling your shoulders back more and opening your feet. And slowly releasing the pose by bringing your feet together, setting the heels down, and maybe holding on to your feet or your ankles where you are, sliding the feet forward into another posterior stretch. Take an inhalation with the exhalation, folding forward. Slowly releasing the pose, sitting back up, pausing for a moment with eyes closed. And for the incline plane, bringing your hands back. Your fingers can be away from you or towards you, whatever works better for your wrists. With the inhalation, lifting the hips up, guiding the soles of your feet down, and letting your head rest back. And slowly releasing, sitting down, pausing for a moment, eyes closed. And lying on our backs, let's do some summer jumps from the back. Breathing practice with movement. We inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, making the exhalation about twice as long as the inhalation. So exhaling much slower than we inhale. And we start on the left side, then on the right, and then both. We're lifting our arms 180 degrees and the legs 90 degrees. So the legs are straight up and the arms are above us on the floor. Let's begin. Inhaling, lifting left arm and left leg. And exhaling, hushing the breath out, moving slowly and lower your arm and lower your leg. Inhaling, lifting right arm and right leg. And exhaling, hushing the breath out. Both arms and both legs. Preparing for deep relaxation. So if there's another stretch you'd like to do, perhaps happy baby pose or any kind of a back movement to massage your back, please do that. And then come to a comfortable position on your back for deep relaxation. And in deep relaxation position, let's lift the legs 2 or 3 inches. Let them fall down. Make fists with your hands, lifting your arms up and let those plop down. You can also curl your head up, lengthening your spine with your head and neck and putting the back of your head down. You also can push your elbows into the mat, lifting your chest a little bit, tucking your shoulder blades closer together and relax. Make adjustments, make sure you're comfortable. And start paying attention to your breath. With your inhalation, your navel rises. With your exhalation, your navel falls. Deep, slow abdominal breathing. Let's begin by seeing, feeling, or imagining a soft white mist-like light entering your room. It moves towards you and gently surrounds your beautiful physical form. This light lifts you up and it feels like floating on a cloud. Invite this light to enter the toes of your left foot, toe by toe. Feeling arch, heel, ankle, left lower leg, knee, thigh, and hip. Now guide this light into the toes of your right foot, one toe at a time. Arch, heel, ankle, right lower leg, knee, thigh, and hip. Both legs are completely relaxed. Now guide this healing light into your torso, entering your abdomen, your stomach, your chest. Allow it to move deeper inside, touching your internal organs. Moving up, encircling your beautiful heart. Expanding out and filling your whole chest with healing white light. Now guide this light into your back, relaxing away tension from your lower back. Moving through the middle parts, into your upper back, relaxing all tension away. Now guide the light into the fingers of your left hand, finger by finger. Left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. Guide it into your right hand, finger by finger. Right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. This peaceful light moves into your neck and throat, like a wave blowing into your face, relaxing your jaw, filling mouth and lips, entering your nose, your cheeks, filling your ears, touching your temples, moving into your eyes and into your forehead. This peaceful light moves inside your head, inside your brain, melting away thoughts and feelings. It leaves your body through your head, once more surrounding you. Expanding out and filling this room with your peace. Expanding out further and leaving your room. Your peaceful light of consciousness moves through the city, over houses and trees, over oceans, mountains, and continents into space, to infinity, keeping you completely relaxed and completely in peace. Enjoy this peace. Enjoy. Gently preparing to guide your consciousness back. Bringing it back over houses and trees. Back into your room, back into your physical form. Energy and consciousness enters your head, fills your brain. Moves down into your face, feel it behind your eyes. Down your neck and throat, into your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Revitalized energy and consciousness fills your torso from your chest, down into your stomach, all the way down to the hips, thighs, lower legs, feet, and toes. Moving fingers and moving toes, wiggling fingers and wiggling toes. Making fists with your hands, bring the arms up, double inhale, stretching up, double exhale, relaxing down. Let's do that again, double inhale, tensing, lifting the arms, and double exhale, relaxing down. You can roll over onto your favorite side, just lie there for a moment longer. And then come to a comfortable seated position. We'll twist to the left, one hand behind us, opposite hand on the opposite knee, looking over your shoulder and looking back. And releasing to the center, onto the other side right away, opposite hand to opposite knee. And moving back to the center with the inhalation, reaching out and up. Palms together to the chest with the exhalation. Thank you for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of the day or rest of the evening. Looking forward to being with you again next week. Namaste.